What, excuse me. What's up, y'all? Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Am I too loud? I had to fool around with the sounds. Let me know if I'm too loud. I can turn it down. But what's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Real Housewives of Potomac, season 10, episode 3. Tomorrow, the Whether You Like It or Not panel will be right here. So make sure you guys are here with us tomorrow at 8:30 ish. Okay. Yeah, Chuck, your Bears, whatever. My team just got crushed, and I'm not happy about it. So we're gonna move right along. I didn't cook nothing. I had leftovers. I didn't cook nothing. All right, so this episode, I'm gonna just get there when we get there. It got on my nerves, and I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, it's not a big deal." Whatever. First of all, we really, you know how they do the little boom, boom, boom. This is what people got going on. We see, well, we didn't have our quarterback. We don't have our top two receivers. Like, we're in trouble. We are definitely in trouble. But again, I don't want to talk about football because it's gonna piss me off. So let's move right along. First scene we really see is Stacy and her daughter. I guess her daughter's going to get into pageants and she's going to start doing pageants. Look, all I had to say about that is that girl only in the third grade. Like when at the end when she was like, "I'm the queen of third grade," I was like, she's only in the third grade. But other than that, she's beautiful. I wish her well. That's all I got with that. So then we see Stacy meet up with Jazzy. I don't know if that's the next scene, but that's the next scene we're gonna talk about. Then we see Stacy meet up with Jazzy. I told y'all that them women were ganging up on Stacy so bad that they had to bring in. Oh no, the next scene was Wendy and K. We'll get to that. I'm gonna just go ahead and finish with this one. That they had to bring in reinforcements. So I guess Jazzy was one of the women they brought in to help Stacy out. Listen, let me say something. Stacy, girl, listen, I do feel like these women have been ganging up on you. You don't make it easy. Like, you don't help yourself at all. But I do feel like you make it easy on them. You bringing in Jazzy and then bringing up, and Giselle's got a man. First of all, that looked like Sherman in them pictures. And then y'all said he an ex-NFL player. I was like, is that Sherman? Because if that's Sherman, second of all, where you get them pictures from, Stacy? Because we all follow the blogs. I don't remember none of them pictures. And then you made it seem like you had some inside scoop. It was clearly a watermark on those pictures that said like Housewife Reality or something. Like there was a watermark on that picture. So, girl, you made it seem like you had some inside tea, like somebody sent you those pictures. Girl, nobody sent you those pictures. Oh, I didn't even see the man's name. What was the man's name? Because I didn't see his name. But my thing is, I don't know. I don't think it landed the way production thought it was going to land or the way Stacy thought it was going to land. I don't know. But tell me what the name they had because I missed it. I missed the man's name. I just saw that the face was blurred out. All I saw was that he was a dark-skinned guy that they said played football. So I was like, is this Sherman? Hey, is that Sherman? I don't know. But y'all come on in. Hey, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I don't know why they have you. I don't know. This is weird. I don't like it. Sean Springs. Oh, he played for the Redskins or the Commanders. Oh, it was him? Oh, okay. Now, I understand, like, again, Stacy wasn't the right person. Like, the right person to have that conversation, maybe Wendy. If Ashley and Giselle weren't cool, Ashley definitely would have been the right person to deliver it. But Stacy, you just didn't know how to deliver it. You just didn't know how to bring it for us to care. Because let's be clear, we know that Giselle don't tell us all her business. We know that Giselle doesn't give us her real tea. But we need somebody that's going to deliver it in a way that we care. That didn't make me care. But maybe it did for other people. Anyway, so Jazzy's going to come to the Preakness situation. Now, we find out that there are two different Preakness parties. We have Wendy and then we have Jazzy. I'm going to be honest, I'm confused at this whole situation, but we're going to go back. Let's go back to the Wendy Jazzy conversation. So Wendy and Jazzy are having a one-on-one conversation. And I know that for some of y'all, it's going to be hard for y'all to take what's going on with Wendy out of what we're seeing on screen. I'm going to do that. So I'm not going to deal with the Wendy of it all, of what is going on in real time. I'm going to deal with what's going on this show. First of all, Wendy, I don't know what the fuck that was you had on. That outfit was not cute. It looked like you had on a diaper. I don't know what it is with this new trend with these shorts that look like diapers. We saw Keisha Cole do it on stage. We've seen a few other people. I don't like it. And Wendy, you wore that diaper-like situation like at least 2 times in this episode. Wendy, sometimes you get it so right and sometimes you get it so wrong. And I'm gonna be honest, this outfit was wrong. This lavender with the diaper bottom, it was wrong. And then it was wrinkled. Like, it looked like you just took it out the package, that Shein package, right before you put it on. Because that had to be a Shein outfit. No shade to Shein. But it just looked like it was a Shein ensemble. Okay, it was not cute. But moving right along. This conversation with Wendy and Jazzy, listen, I'm sick of it. And they keep saying, hold on. Y'all are going to see how fake Wendy is. Y'all are going to see it. We're on episode 3, and every episode, I said Jazzy, I meant K. Every episode, K, you keep bringing this up with Wendy, and I'm not seeing it. Now, I watched on Watch What Happens Live, and basically what you said on Watch What Happens Live is the Wendy that you said was down for you and riding for you on camera is not the Wendy you got off camera, that you felt like she was only there for you on camera and that she wasn't really trying to be your friend in real life. Can I say something before we get to the rest of this conversation? I'm so sick of this. Listen, this show is like any other work situation. There are some people that you work with and y'all have a good ass time at work. Baby, y'all go to lunch together. Y'all talk about, y'all gossip together. The tea together. Y'all make eyes at each other in staff meetings together. Y'all are friends at work. And y'all may not ever call each other outside of work. I know that I've had friends like that we are cool as hell at work. But on the weekends, I probably don't even think about them like that. And it's not no shade. It's not in a mean way. But listen, I have a life outside of my job, and they have a life outside of their job. And sometimes it does not overlap. Now, on the flip side, you have friends that do flip outside of work. And they are people that meet your family and you hang out with on the weekends and you go on vacations with. And at the end of the day, I really feel, I'm so sick of people saying, oh, they were being fake because they only talk to me on camera. At the end of the day, how much effort were you putting in? See, I need to know both sides of that story. How much effort are you putting in, KK? How often are you calling Wendy? Wendy got a husband and 3 whole kids, a mama that's yang here, and a job. And again, I ain't gonna dwell on what's going on with Wendy in real time, but let's just talk about the reality of it. Wendy's raising 3 kids, has a job, got a husband, and got a mama she got to deal with. Girl, you single with no kids. And I get it that you're running a business, but Wendy might not have the time that you have. And I'm not saying Wendy's not fake. I don't know. But based on what you are telling me, I can only go by what you're saying. And I'm not going to make that determination that Wendy was being fake just because she don't want to hang out with you when the cameras ain't rolling. How did you invite her to things when the cameras weren't rolling? Did you call her up and say, hey, girl, you want to go to lunch? Did Wendy put you on red? Did she block you? Explain to me why she was so fake. And then you say, well, we saw each other at events and I didn't get that same energy. Okay, maybe you didn't. I mean, and we still dwelling on this. Listen, are we still dwelling on this? Did you do your own makeup? I'm telling y'all, that's not a dig. And let me tell you why it's not a dig. Because KK is a cosmetologist by trade. She just talked about that on Watch What Happens Live. She said that's how her and Angela met. She said Angela met because she was her client. She used to do Angela's hair. And she said, didn't Angela put me on at BET? And she was very careful not to say makeup artist or she did makeup. She was very careful not to say exactly what she was doing at BET. But she said, and then she put me on at BET and had me, working there. She was getting ready to say doing people makeup and doing people hair and makeup, because most hairdressers can do makeup. Most stylists, I have friends who are makeup artists and they can do both. So I don't think it was a dig the way KK is trying to make it out to be a dig. Girl, you know how to do makeup. And again, I would need to hear the context in which it was being said that Wendy was being so shady. I could see if it was like something, I don't know. But again, what's irritating me though with it, KK, is you're having this conversation with Wendy. You pulled her aside to have this private conversation with her, and Wendy is confused. And let me be honest, I was fucking confused too. I was confused too. Now, some people might argue and say that they weren't confused, but I was confused too, because what you were saying, KK, really, it wasn't that deep to me. And Wendy kept asking you for more and you couldn't give it to her. Now, maybe you couldn't give it to her because you didn't feel like you could break the fourth wall and just come right out and say, girl, you act different when the cameras are rolling versus when the cameras aren't rolling. But you ended up saying that anyway, so you might as well have started there. But it just didn't make sense to me. And I'm sorry. I can't go down this road with you, KK, because it makes no sense. Again, I'm not saying Wendy's perfect. I'm not even saying Wendy wasn't being shady, but you got to give me better than what you gave me. I'm sorry. You got to bring me better than what you bought me. You're going to have to give me, like, I can't go down that road with you. And honestly, as this episode went on, it didn't get any better. As this episode went on, KK, it did not get any better, but we'll get to that. So then we saw Angela in a scene with her husband. It was a scene, I feel like, for us to get to know her better. We saw she was talking about her mom, how her mom had passed 10 years earlier, and she feels like her mom is still with her. And she talked about, excuse me, I apologize. She talked about a time when, she was first started dating her husband and how he wore his shoes in the house, and now her mother never let people wear shoes in the house. And then like this gust of wind came through and they felt like it was her mom. We got to meet her dad. And I'm assuming, I think that's her dad's wife or something. I don't know, but it was another woman there. I think it's her dad's wife, or is it Bobby's mom? But anyway, but it's definitely, they looked like they were cool. And she was talking about how she really didn't appreciate the whole chin check conversation, and that if KK really did say it, it was going to be a problem. Now, Angela, I'm going to come back to this when we get to it later on. But girl, you was telling anybody and everybody that if KK had said chin check, you was going to have a problem with it. So you can't be mad at the people for coming back to you saying, girl, you said you was going to have a problem with it, and I don't see you having no problem with it. Now, if you and KK had talked off camera and cleared it up before y'all came on camera, okay, that's one thing. But don't sit here and act like everybody is crazy. Because you said the same thing to your husband that you said to Wendy and Giselle and what's the other lady name? Jade. Like, Angel, everybody ain't crazy. Like, hey, everybody coming in. Hey. Like, everybody ain't crazy. Anyway. And let's talk about this. I'm sorry, now I gotta go back because I forgot. Let's go back and talk about this. Tim, I call her Jade. Thank you, boo. Let's go back and talk about this whole Preakness, Black-Eyed Susan situation. KK, once again, your argument made no sense. If Wendy was called, okay, first of all, for people who don't understand what the Preakness is or how big of a deal the Preakness is in Maryland, in Baltimore, let me think of Kentucky Derby, right? And Chuck, you live in that area, so you know when the Kentucky Derby comes around, there are a million parties. Some are official parties, some are unofficial parties. Every group, organization, whatever, is going to have a party. That is the Preakness. The Preakness is part of the Triple Crown, right? You have the Kentucky Derby, you have the Preakness, and then you have was it Churchill Downs? Churchill, the third one, right? The Preakness is that, especially for Black upper class Marylanders, like Belmont Stakes, thank you. Everybody is going to Preakness, and everybody has a party. So the first lady of Maryland, which is a Black woman, the first Black governor. I said governor. Let me get my words together. The first Black governor, Westmore, his wife, who will be the first lady of Maryland, she's hosting the Black Eyed Susan party. She reached out to Wendy. According to Wendy, she reached out to her to, I guess, host it or co-host it. KK, why are you in your feelings? Because you're not, because what it sounds like to me is you're not like an official host. Like Wendy was officially asked to be a host by the first lady. Why are you mad about that? It sounds like maybe you are a sponsor because you have a business. Maybe I don't know. But the fact that you had to have a pre-party tells me you were not an official host of the Black Eyed Susan party. That's what it sounded like to me. Now, the best thing I could come up with is KK was mad that Wendy was the official host because she was linked to Black Eyed Susans. That whole conversation confused me. And then when Wendy was like, yeah, like the first lady reached out to me to do this. Like this was something she reached out. I wonder, y'all think the first lady can call Wendy? Anyway, but I was so confused by that conversation, y'all. I was like, so what are you mad about, KK? Like, again, everybody and their cousin is going to be at a party, hosting a party or something when it comes to Preakness. Why are you mad that Wendy is hosting this party? I didn't understand it. And if anybody has clarity, y'all put it in the chat because I was confused. I was confused at KK being upset. That's what confused me. I understand different parties and all that, but clearly you weren't an official host, KK. It sounds like you were trying to have a Preakness party that overlapped with Wendy's party. I don't know. I mean, and let's be clear, calling it the Black Eyed Susan, that's not original. The Black Eyed Susan is the official flower for the state of Maryland. So it's not even like, oh, well, it was the Black Eyed Susan party. There's probably more. Like, you know what I mean? But if this is the party that the first lady of Maryland is actually putting on, then that's the official party. You can have a party and call it the Black Eyed Susan party all you want. It's the flower of Maryland. Like, that's not original, you know? Anyway, I was confused. Okay, everybody was confused too. Okay, all right, child. Moving right along. So, all right. So then we finally get to KK. I think that's the last scene. No. Oh, no. We have Tia's scene with her kids. Let me tell y'all something. I'm with Tia on this all day long. I'm with Tia with if I ask you to do something, you don't do it. My mama was the same way. If my mama asked me to wash some dishes and them dishes wasn't washed, trust and believe, I was getting a 2:00 wake up call. And not only was I going to wash them dishes in the sink, she was going to add some to the pot. Okay. She was going to take some dishes out the cabinet that might not have even been dirty. And she going to tell me to wash them too. Let me go to bed and not do what my mama told me to do. So I was with her when she was talking to her husband. Now, clearly that scene was a made-up scene for them to sit down and talk and just talk about something. But I think them kids is real, right? Those kids and those attitudes, that's what they should have been talking about because that shit was real. Let me tell y'all something. This gentle parenting don't work. Listen. I don't know who wrote the book. I don't know who told y'all that gentle parenting. It doesn't work. Sometimes you just got to yoke them kids up. And I'm not saying beat them, okay? I'm not talking about, I ain't talking about that. But sometimes you got to yoke them kids up. And them kids look like they need to be yoked up. First of all, First of all, let's start with the conversation. You were talking to your daughters and said, I'm not going to be home tonight. Daddy's not going to be home tonight, but y'all can have a friend over. Where they do that at? My parents was telling me the opposite. I'm not going to be home tonight. Your daddy not going to be home tonight. Y'all better not open that door for nobody. I better not know that nobody was in this house. And trust and believe, my mama didn't need no Ring camera to see who was coming in and out that house. My mama could walk in the door and smell it. My mama could walk in the door and look and say, nope, somebody been up in here. Who been in my house? It was like fee, fi, fo, fum. Okay? So I didn't understand that conversation from the beginning. I didn't understand that you can have a friend over. Then they sat there and argued about how many friends was coming. And then had the nerve to get an attitude when the daddy said, baby, I didn't listen. I didn't understand none of that either. Because again, them kids need to be yoked up. And I didn't understand that I'm not going to be home tonight. Your daddy not going to be home tonight, but y'all can have some friends over. Who friends? Why? You are setting yourself up. Hey, everybody coming in. I think they're going to have a sitter. I mean, I hope you're right. I hope you're right that they was going to have a sitter. All right. So then, but again, it's good to just, we're trying to get to know the new lady. So I'm here for that. So then we see Giselle, Tia, Wendy, and Angel meet at this boutique. Listen, I understand that sometimes y'all can't film at department stores. Maybe that's the only thing I can assume. The only thing I can assume is that the real big department stores don't want y'all filming there, which is why y'all always end up going to these little boutiques now, or maybe y'all go to these little boutiques because y'all trying to highlight small businesses. I don't know. Maybe that's and if that's what y'all goal is, then kudos to y'all for highlighting these small businesses. But y'all know good and damn well y'all don't be buying nothing out these boutiques. Maybe Giselle do. But anyway, so Giselle lets them know that they're going to Nevis, the island down in the Caribbean. Y'all know how this goes. She's the host, but y'all know it ain't, y'all know what it really is. And then they asked Wendy how her conversation with KK went. Now, to Wendy's credit, she tried to keep it real cute. And she tried to be like, well, we talked, we're good. But then, of course, they wanted her to give more. So then she went on to say how she really just didn't understand where KK was coming from. She really, truly doesn't understand what KK's issue is. She listened, she heard her out, but she's just confused. Which, again, we've established all of us are. So then, they bring up the whole chin check thing again with Angel. Now, come to find out, KK done doubled back after she admitted that she did say it. She done doubled back to Angel and said she didn't say it. Now, KK girl, you know this stuff is on camera. You know that production is going to roll that beautiful bean footage 11 times. Why would you double back and say you didn't say it? Girl, if you said it, you said it. You done already admitted that you said it. Now, do I think it's being blown out of proportion? In my opinion, okay, let me say this. It's two different ways. Okay, let me address it from two different ways. Would I have a problem with my real friend in real life saying they had to chin check me? Yes. Because I'd be like, what you mean? Why would you say that? Do I think that they're blowing this out of proportion by making it seem like KK was going to hit her or she meant something violent? She didn't. we all know that if I say I had to chin check you, yes, there's a physical chin check and then there's that verbal. I think everybody understood that KK was talking verbally. Like I had to get her together. I had to get her straight. I don't think anybody thought that KK was talking about she physically put her hands on anybody. So the fact that they even took it in that direction for me was stupid. We all know that that's not the conversation. So like y'all taking it there for me is just stupid that y'all are taking it there. But cool. So then Angel was like, well, I would have a real problem with that because, you know, that's my friend. And why would she say those things? Yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, you know, if she really said that, then that's a problem for me. Now, here's where I think it's going to be a problem for the rest of these housewives when it comes to Jazzy and Angel. Jazzy and Angel are friends in real life. They've been friends for 20 years. And I feel like they have basically said to each other, we're not going to let this reality TV bullshit get in the way of our friendship. So I honestly feel like when Angel left this scene, Angel got on the phone and called KK and said, girl, look, what the fuck did you say? Angel, did I say, who am I saying? I'm sorry. I mean Angel. Y'all know I mean Angel. My bad. Thank you, Chuck. I don't know. Who did I say? I mean KK and Angel. Who am I saying? I'm sorry, y'all. I mean KK and Angel, though. Whatever name I said, throw that out. Oh, I said Jazzy. I don't mean Jazzy, y'all. I'm sorry. I mean KK. Why does Jazzy keep coming out my mouth? So, do I think that KK and Angel, see, I was going to say it again, had a conversation off camera after this was over? Yeah. Do I think that in the moment, Angel allowed herself to get upset and maybe say some things? Because, again, we know that these scenes last longer than what we see. We know that things get edited out. So do I think that Angel allowed herself to get hyped up and allowed herself to get caught up in I know she better not have said nothing. What you mean? What you mean she said something? Yes, I do. I think that she absolutely allowed herself to get caught up in that. But I also think that her and Angel had a conversation, or her and KK had a conversation. I do. And I think they're going to. I think that as the season goes on, I think they are going to continue to do that because I think that they have made a conscious decision that they're not going to let this mess up their friendship. So I'm saying we just might as well get used to it now that we're not going to see that. I mean, I'm not saying never, ever, ever, but the way KK was riding for Angel on Watch What Happens Live, it clearly seems like their friendship made it through the season. She wasn't talking shit. She wasn't being shady, right? So we might as well just get used to that, you know. Yeah. And I think that I'm with you too. Romel said, I honestly wouldn't have said anything around them. I would have called or texted my friend of 20 years. And I think that's what she did. Because I also feel like, and maybe this has never happened to y'all, but I know this has definitely happened to me because I like to talk. I'm a talker, right? I run my mouth all the time. And I've definitely got caught up in a conversation. And when I was leaving going, oh, I said too much. Damn, I didn't mean to say all of that. Because I allow myself to get caught up because, again, I do talk a lot. I do. And I enjoy talking to people and I enjoy having conversations. And sometimes I do catch myself going, oh, shit. I just said, I just said too much. So I do feel like that could happen. So I agree. And I think that that's probably what happened. She left that scene and realized, oh shit, maybe I did a little too much, you know? And yeah. So anyway, so the next scene we see is Jazzy's pre-Black Eyed Susan brunch at her condo. Everybody's invited. Stacy was like, I was actually surprised that I was invited. Girl, I mean, Stacy said she was surprised she was invited to Nivis and all of that. Girl, you're not, because you already know what this is. This is a reality show. They got to invite y'all. I don't know if it's true, but I was told that when they have these group scenes, if you don't invite everybody, then you won't get reimbursed. Now I don't know how true that is, but y'all know that they what do I keep saying Jazzy? Oh my, why do I keep saying Jazzy's name? KK, y'all. I mean KK. I don't know why Jazzy keeps coming out, but please know I mean KK. I don't know why. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I was told. That when they have group scenes, if you don't invite everybody, they will not reimburse you. So, girl, they're going to invite the people unless you just absolutely ain't really rocking with that person. That's why a lot of times I'm like, why would they invite that person? They don't get along with them. That's why. Angela did say she talked to KK after the ladies told her what KK said, and I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't have a problem with it either. Like, I honestly don't. I don't have a problem with it. They all talk when the cameras aren't running. Like, come on, y'all. K and Angel are friends for a reason. They think, act just alike, in my opinion. Ooh. What? Not K hosting a brunch. She's cute, yes, but boring. Ooh, okay. So now Greg was there, and let me tell you this. KK, listen, girl, if you like it, I love it. That's all I got to say about that. If you like it, I love it. But it's clear that Greg was there to sort of just try to dispel the whole situation from last season where you said, well, I did say I wanted more support from Greg, but what I had to learn is that his support may not look the way I want it to look. Let me say this, and this is my opinion, and somebody might say, well, that's why you single. You're right. That's probably why I'm single. I don't think it's a problem to expect someone to show up for you the way you need them to show up for you. I don't think it's asking too much. I don't think it's out of pocket. I don't think it's an issue to say, this is how I need you to show up for me. This is what you understand what I'm saying? And for you to say, well, I have to understand that him showing up for me may not look the way I need it to look, or I want it to look. Girl, if you like it, I love it. But if I need, excuse me, y'all, but if I need to feel loved a certain way, then I don't feel like I'm wrong for that. Now, yes, Greg was pleasant. Yes, Greg was, he played his part well. I will say that, right? But if she like it, I love it. I don't have nothing else with that. I don't have nothing else with that. So the ladies show up. Now she was throwing shade at Giselle and what Giselle had on, but then Giselle turned around and was throwing shade at Angela. See, this is stuff that I don't like. Giselle, you did look a mess, but Giselle, you always look a mess. So, but here's the problem I had. It's clear that Angel is still dealing with her post-baby body. It is clear that those are breastfeeding tatas. You know this. You know she has a child. She told y'all she was breastfeeding when y'all was down to the boutique. Okay. And let me say this. There's a picture that's circulating online now, showing Ashanti on the beach in a bathing suit with the baby. And a lot of people were making comments about Ashanti's body, right? And I know for many, 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 many years, we always saw Ashanti on the beach in bikinis and Ashanti with body, yada, yada, yada. But it just made me feel like you just can't make people happy. So y'all are dogging Ashanti out. First of all, I think she still looks beautiful. I think she looks good. But people are dogging Ashanti out because she's still holding on to a little post-baby weight. She's not her, she's not back to the weight she was pre-baby, right? But if she came out here and did an Ozempic commercial, y'all would be dogging her out about that, like y'all doing Serena. So, like, you can't make these people happy. No matter what women do, it's always a problem. I don't think people understand that women literally grow an entire person inside of their body, and that person rearranges their entire insides. Your intestines, your lungs, your kidney, your bladder, like your entire inside gets twisted up for you to bring a baby into this world. And it's like, you shame a woman when she doesn't lose the weight. You shame a woman on how she loses the weight, whether she chooses to go have a mommy makeover or she chooses to use Ozempic or whatever. It's like you can't fucking win. I think Ashanti looks beautiful, but I'm saying people made the comments, right? Same thing with Angela. Angela is clearly carrying a baby body. And Giselle, out of all of those women, you choose to talk about her breasts that you know she breastfeeding. And it's like, why? Like, of all the things you could talk about, why would it be that? I don't know. Maybe I'm being petty, y'all. Maybe I'm making a big deal about something that's not a big deal. But I just feel like, yes, I know Giselle is shady. And yes, I'm used to Giselle being shady. But it's just like, girl, like, that's what you, like, you ain't had nothing else to say? You ain't got nothing else to say? Right. Not only did Giselle have twins, but we know that Giselle had a mommy makeover, because who was it that put it out there? Was it Wendy? I think Wendy was the one that put it out there. Girl, you had a whole mommy makeover. And her not excuse. Her reason was, well, I had twins. Okay, and I'm not shaming Giselle for having a mommy makeover, but it's like, you always want to talk. Yeah, because it was when Wendy had her plastic surgery, and everybody made a big deal about Wendy having her plastic surgery. And Giselle was like, well, I had twins. So what? You had twins. Wendy had 3 whole babies. She might not have had them at the same time, but she had 3 whole babies. So you can have a mommy makeover because you had twins, but Wendy can't do it? Like, anyway, moving right along. I ain't want to give her that much. So we sit down at the table, and the first thing out of KK's mouth is talking about Wendy. Well, Wendy has to be the first, the best, the brightest, or some shit she said. And Stacy was like, what? Like, what are we talking about? What? And Jazzy was like, well, I mean, because I think they asked about the 2 parties, and like, because they were confused too about the whole Black Eyed Susan thing. They were all confused. So now here comes Jazzy. Well, we all know that Wendy has to be the first, the best, the brightest. Girl, again, Jazzy, I'm confused. What are you mad about with this party? Forget about the rest of the shit. Let's just focus on this party. Girl, what are you mad about? Are you mad that Wendy was asked to be the host of the other party? Like, what are we mad about? Because we're confusion at this point. First, better, best. Thank you, Candy. First, better, best. What do I keep saying? Why do I keep saying Jazzy? KK, y'all. I'm talking about KK. Jazzy ain't in the rest of this conversation. I don't know why I keep saying Jazzy. I am talking about KK. For the rest of this conversation, I'm talking about KK. Why Jazzy name keep coming out my mouth, I do not know, but I ain't talking about her. I'm talking about KK, okay? Please, I'm sorry. That's all I can say, because I'm not even conscious that I'm doing it. I don't know why it keeps coming out my mouth. So Wendy was like, I have absolutely no idea what your issue is with me. And again, I'm with Wendy on this one. I don't either. I'm just confused at this point. So then Wendy says, so then they bring up the whole chin check thing. And Giselle was like, because Giselle's thing was, KK, my understanding is that you went back and you doubled back to Angel and you said that you never said chin check. So now it looks like I'm the one that's a liar. And I didn't lie. I didn't lie on you. You said it. And so Angel was like, well, we cleared it up. Basically, we cleared it up and it's all good. And Wendy was like, whoa, 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 whoa. That ain't the energy that you had when we was at the store the other day. The energy that we had, no, because KK was like, I said it and I apologize. And Angel was like, okay, cool. And everybody at the table was like, wait a minute. Because see, you said that you felt some kind of way. And you said that if you found out it was true, you was going to have some words for KK. And you said, and so everybody was sitting there waiting for Angel to chin check KK, and it didn't happen. So Wendy was like, so now Angel got this energy with Wendy, and I really feel like Angel had all that energy with Wendy trying to make up for not having KK's back according to how KK felt. I really feel like that's where that energy was coming from, that she would like, well, let me have her back now because I ain't have her back before, or she thought I didn't have her back before. But then Giselle was like, but hold up, why you got all that energy for Wendy? Because me and Tia feel the same way. Because Tia was saying the same thing. Tia was like, yeah, girl, that's really not the impression I got. Because I didn't even know it was a bad thing until the way you reacted. So I'm feeling some kind of way too. So now everybody is actually agreeing with Wendy. Even Ashley in her confessional is agreeing with Wendy. But Angel, all your energy is in Wendy's direction when everybody at the table is agreeing with Wendy. So you mad at Wendy because she the one that brought it up? Why you mad at Wendy because she the one that brought it up? Because everybody's agreeing with her. And honestly, I don't know if I'm agreeing because at this point, I just don't care. Like, I honestly don't care anymore. But at the same time, I'm kind of agreeing too because I'm kind of like, what the F? So it turns into like a whole argument, but everybody by the end of the argument is just fucking confused. Angel looked like she got caught being phony. She did. But again, all she had to say, she said, she was like, well, in the moment I was angry, but once I got home, that was a couple of days ago, I done calmed down. No, you and KK had a conversation. Like Wendy said in her confessional, it seems like y'all went and had a conversation, which is exactly what it seemed like happened. That's all it was. Y'all went and had a damn conversation. And it's okay to say, look, I called my girl. When I left there, I felt some kind of way. And I called KK and we talked about it. That's all you have to say. But don't make it seem like everybody else is crazy. Because they not. Because you was in there acting like you was going to get her all the way together. And then KK chin checked you again in front of everybody. So if there was any question about whether there was a chin check going on, it ain't no question no more. Because we witnessed you KK chin check Angel in real time. So if there was any question about what KK did, ain't no question no more. And is it me? When them ladies got on that Sprinter van, what did she say? She said something like, well, Angel, if I find out, she said, I don't know what that conversation was, but if I find out that you was having conversations like that again, then me and you gonna have a problem. I'm paraphrasing, but that she said something about the conversation they had at the boutique. And she was like, well, I don't know what exactly was said at the boutique, but if I find out y'all talking like that again, me and you gonna have a problem. I'm like, she just chin checked you again. Let it be the last one. Yeah. So in my mind, she didn't, like, you talking about, I can't believe she said she chin checked me when she sat there and did it in front of everybody. Thank you, Lord. Putting these handles on here. Two L's. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Yeah, she said let it be the last time. So then they get on this Sprinter. Is it me? Or were they squoze up on that Sprinter? Why they look so squoze up on that Sprinter? They must have got the economy size sprinter. Because I don't feel like, we know that the Housewives of Salt Lake City done been on 50 million sprinters. I don't never remember them being squoze up like that on the sprinter. Did they get the economy level sprinter? I never knew it was different sizes, but clearly they got the economy because they was squoze up on that sprinter. And KK, you got caught up in some bullshit on this sprinter because, again, I think people miss stuff sometimes. Stacy said to KK, I'm really surprised that you invited me because the way you've been coming at me. And KK said, well, I really liked you when I met you last year. I really liked you. I really wanted to get to know you. And Stacy said, well, that's surprising because you had events that you never invited me to. Oh, so KK, the same way you felt like Wendy was being fake to you by not being friends with you off camera, you wasn't even inviting Stacy to events that were being filmed for the show? But Stacy's the problem. See, this that I'm talking about, like all this piling up on Stacy is some bullshit. But Stacy was like, girl, you didn't even invite me to some of your events. You didn't even bring me in the room. And that's when KK had that little fake, ooh, I need a tissue. First of all, again, who put KK in charge of the girls? She act like, I need a tissue. Somebody give me a tissue. I was like, who is she talking to? And why are these women letting her talk to them like that? And then they proceeded to have an argument about who was going to let KK use their dress to wipe her mouth. Where they do that at? Where do they do? Who is letting you wipe your mouth with their dress? I ain't never had that happen to me before. I've never had a friend ask me to do that. I have never had that be the expectation. What in the hell was that about? That turned into a whole argument about that's your friend. You've known her for 20 years. That's your friend of 20. Why are we even having a conversation about that woman using somebody's dress to wipe the juice off of her mouth? What the fuck? I've never heard that before. That was the weirdest argument to me. She spilled something, but why was anybody arguing about them using their dress? That was so crazy to me, y'all. I was confused by that whole conversation. I was like, what? And it was a whole argument. And then that's pretty much how the episode ended. So, y'all, baby, we got 200 people in here. Thank y'all for being here. I hope y'all hit that like button. I appreciate you. But that was pretty much what it was. First of all, they didn't even have no napkins, but that's because they had the economy sprinter. The economy sprinter don't come with napkins. It's like when you get an Uber and you just get a regular Uber, like you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get a minivan with a dent on the side. You don't know if you're going to get a Honda Civic, or you might get a brand new Toyota Camry. You don't know what you're going to get when you just put in and you just say you want an Uber, but you might not get a charger. You might not get no water. You might not get no napkins, right? You don't know what you're going to get. But if you get an Uber Black, there's an expectation that there's going to be some tissue. There's going to be a charger. That man going to give you some water. He might give you some mints, right? He going to have the air. Like, there's an expectation. And I feel like that's what happened with that sprinter. They got the economy sprinter. That don't come with tissue. They was drinking champagne. That's probably the champagne they was drinking in the house. They just put their glasses with them. Because that's the only thing. How you don't have no tissue? No napkins or nothing. Gabby said we only have 88 people. Can we get over 100 likes, please? Can we please get to 100 likes with 200 people in the room? Right. And my grandmother always told me that a lady always keep tissue in her purse. All of them had them $8,000 Chanel bags and nobody had no tissue. You ain't had them little Kleenex bag. Y'all know how, my grandmama always said that a lady keeps tissue in her purse. And I always had tissue in my purse. None of them ladies had no tissue in their purses. Thank you. They said we got 97 likes now. Can we get 3 more likes, please? Right. Candace would have had her triangle. You right. Candace would have had you. She would have had you taken care of. I keep tissue, mini Lysol, potpourri or poopery, a LED makeup mirror, power bank, and more. Well, damn, girl. But I mean, there's certain things I do keep in my purse. Tissue is. I always have some sort of lipstick, lip gloss in all of my purses. I don't always have a makeup mirror. I don't always keep that. I have them, but I don't have one in every purse. Thank you. We over 100. Okay, thank you. I keep baby wipes in my big bag, like my totes. I have baby wipes in there, or in my book bag. My travel, like my book bag that I travel with, I have baby wipes in there. But yeah, like y'all ain't had no tissue. Nobody had no baby wipes, no tissue. Anyway. All right, y'all. That was the episode. Don't forget tomorrow night, the Whether You Like It or Not panel is right here. Y'all know it'll be 8:30-ish. I'm gonna try my best to keep it at 8:30. But y'all know it's gonna be 8:30-ish. Okay? All right. And we will see y'all later. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Thank you. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate you.